It's that time of year again. The NBA playoffs are here. The time where stars are made, heartbreak is inevitable, and history is created. The time where NBA fans are glued to a television screen, ready to see the biggest moments of the NBA season. Only 16 teams. The journey that 16 teams must face to end up holding the Larry O'Brien Trophy is a daunting task to complete. Some teams have their work cut out for them, while other teams have been gearing up for this moment all season. Regardless of how you look at it, the process of winning a championship isn't easy or effortless by any measure. Those who have held championship gold have said it themselves. You don't get lucky, you earn it. We've seen great teams win it all, with their Hall of Fame and all-time great players. But 10 years ago, in 2011, there was a team that shocked the NBA universe. A team that dominated the entire field of competition. A team led by only one All-Star, and had one of the most magical and one of the greatest championship runs we have ever seen in NBA history. The 2011 Dallas Mavericks. Led by Dirk Nowitzki, the 2011 Mavs completed one of the most historic championship runs, going through a deep field of competition that only cemented the Dallas Mavericks as one of the greatest underdog stories in NBA history. Marking the 10-year anniversary of the championship run, let's take a look at what may have been a historic underdog accomplishment by the 2011 NBA champion Dallas Mavericks. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy the content and like the video. With that being said, let's get into the video. Now we have to start by going over the 2006 NBA Finals. The Dallas Mavericks team was led by Jason Terry and Dirk Nowitzki, and that team won 60 games that season, finishing as the second seed in the Western Conference, and had the number 1 rated offense in the entire NBA. On their path to the championship, they swept the Memphis Grizzlies, beat the defending champion San Antonio Spurs in the semifinals, and in the conference finals, beat the Phoenix Suns led by the reigning 2-time league MVP Steve Nash. Dallas was in the NBA Finals for the first time in franchise history, and had to face the Miami Heat led by the promising two-guard in Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal. Dallas came into that series as the overwhelming favorite, and it showed when they went up 2-0 in the series, but within the next 4 games, Dallas would lose each one. Dwayne Wade turned into a monster, averaging 39 points per game in those last 4 games, winning Finals MVP and ending the Dallas Mavericks season in a heartbreaking fashion. 2007 was a crushing year as well for Dallas when you look at the expectations they set for themselves. Dirk became the MVP, and Dallas was the first seed with 67 wins in the Western Conference. And in the first round, they played the 8th-seeded Golden State Warriors, who had no chance of beating
the greatest upset in the history of the NBA playoffs. They have defeated the Dallas.
Yikes. Another tough season. Dallas wouldn't make it past the second round for the next 3 years, allowing many of the NBA universe to believe they're not a serious championship threat. But the 2011 season, the Dallas Mavericks got to a great start, bringing in Tyson Chandler, who could help them in the defensive low post area, which they had been lacking for a long time. Started that season 24-5, their franchise best to start a season, and ended that season with 5 guys averaging over 10 points per game and finished with a record of 57-25, third in the Western Conference. With the start of the 2011 NBA playoffs, the Dallas Mavericks faced the Portland Trail Blazers in round 1. The Mavs jumped out to a 2-0 lead against Portland, but dropped Game 3 and lost Game 4, blew an 18-point lead at the start of the 4th quarter, led by Brandon Roy, who had 18 points in the 4th quarter. We've seen this scenario before, right? Fortunately, the Mavs handled their business in Games 5 and Game 6 and advanced to the second round in a matchup against the 2-time defending NBA champion Los Angeles Lakers, led by Kobe Bryant. In a series that was expected to be highly competitive, turned into complete domination. Dallas won Game 1 and Game 2 in LA, spearheaded by their defense and the ability to shoot the ball, knocking down 46% of their 3-point shots. And Dirk looked like he was impossible to stop, doing whatever he wanted to do on the floor. This postseason, Dirk was a madman on the offensive end of the ball. His one-legged turnaround fader was impossible to truly contest. And if you send a double team, best believe that ball was getting to a shooter who would make you pay. The Mavs went on to win Game 3, and in Game 4, literally blew out the Lakers, completing the sweep without starting with home court, shooting 62% from 3 in that game, while having Peja Stojakovic and Jason Terry come off the bench and combine for 52 points, going 15 for 16 from deep. But with that dominating performance, the Mavs moved on to the conference finals to meet the newest up-and-coming team in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder, led by the NBA's 2-time scoring champ in Kevin Durant and first-year All-Star Russell Westbrook. Now, to be fair, KD and Westbrook were 2 young stars in the NBA. You can even include James Harden, who was a role player in his second season and had not developed into one of the greatest scorers this game has ever seen today. But this is 2011. But again, OKC wasn't a team to disregard due to the high level of energy they played and defensive commitment, which essentially helped them get to the Western Conference Finals so early in their career. In Game 1, ladies and gentlemen, we had a classic. Dallas withstood 40 points from the Durantula Kevin Durant, and Dirk nailed in 48 points to secure the dub against OKC. This was the first time any team scored over 100 points against the Mavs this postseason. But in Game 2, Dallas fell 106-100, even with Dirk dropping 16 points in the fourth quarter. The Beard, James Harden, came off the bench and dropped 10 in the fourth, and looked like he had a Brooklyn Nets jersey on. Dallas would win Game 3, withstanding another great game by one of OKC's big three in the Brody, Russell Westbrook, where he dropped 30 points. But in Game 4, in Oklahoma City, Dirk would put the series nearly to rest with his 40-point performance in an OT win. In this entire series leading up to Game 4, Dirk had averaged double digits in every fourth quarter. And in Game 5, the Mavs would go on a 17-6 run to end that game and beat OKC and advance to the NBA Finals. This Mavs team was on fire. It wasn't just Dirk. It was the entire unit who played exquisite defense in guys such as Shawn Marion, Tyson Chandler, and Deshaun Stevenson, and offensive threats that weren't afraid of the moment in Jason Terry, Jason Kidd, Peja Stojakovic, and even JJ Barea. But all roads led to Miami to face the team and the player that had crushed their hopes in 2006. And this time, he had more than enough help to make this series a repeat of what it was in 2006. The Dallas Mavericks versus the Miami Heat, led by LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. Game 1 of the 2011 NBA Finals was a highly defensive game that went to Miami. In Game 2, Miami was cruising, leading by double digits in the fourth quarter, until the Dallas Mavericks went on an incredible 20-5 run to tie the game. And then, matter of fact, let Mike Breen tell you what happened next.
Drives with underneath lefty layup, banks it in with 3.6 remaining.
The Mavs would win Game 2 thanks to Dirk's clutch bucket, but Game 3 in Dallas would go to Miami. But the series changed from that point on. We could talk about how LeBron didn't play up to his standards, but that's an easy takeaway from the series. The Mavs need and deserve their credit for not only limiting LeBron, but also performing in the high-pressure situations that this series had. In a comeback win in Game 4, Jason Terry and Dirk Nowitzki will combine for 18 points in the fourth quarter, leading to that win, tying up the series 2-2. Better yet, Jason Terry and Dirk will combine for more points in the fourth quarter in Games 4 through 6 than the Miami Heat Big Three. The Mavs would win Game 5 with clutch shots from Jason Terry and Jason Kidd, and in Game 6, the moment had arrived to crown the new kings of the NBA world. Arlington, Oak Cliff, stand up. The Mavs won Game 6 and became the champions of the basketball universe. Dirk became the Finals MVP, and the Mavs have cemented themselves as one of the most unexpected champions in NBA history. Okay, so why is this run so special? Well, let's look at it with some context. Well, number one, the Mavs went half the season without their starting forward in Caron Butler, who was injured. Caron had previously averaged 15 points per game in the previous season and was shooting 43% from 3 in this current season before he was injured. So with a team missing a key piece to their team and still being able to win a championship and fill in the roles is very impressive. Not to mention, this team was on no one's radar. Previous postseason struggles made it seem like the Mavs didn't have what it took to win when it mattered most. But as we can see, the NBA was wrong. Number 2, look at the level of competition the Mavs faced. If you exclude the Blazers series, the Mavs had to go up against the two-time defending champions led by All-Stars Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol, OKC's Big Three, and if you want to include James Harden, you can. And the Miami Heat Big Three, which had LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, all of which were All-Stars. Now, this may be unimpressive to some, but when you factor in the Mavs had one player that season that averaged over 20 points per game and one All-Star, all being Dirk Nowitzki, it contributes to how amazing the Mavs were in the postseason and how they were able to not only beat, but dominate their competition. And lastly, the Mavs were just on a different level that postseason. Dirk had erased any claims that he couldn't carry a team, and his team was sneaky good on defense and had the second best defensive rating in the Western Conference that year. All in all, this 2011 run was something special to look at it, and viewing it 10 years later is impressive. We haven't seen a team with only one All-Star win an NBA championship, and it hasn't been close. You say the 2014 Spurs? Yeah, they did, but they're the Spurs. Come on now. What the Mavs did may never be replicated in the modern era, so let's appreciate the history we were able to witness. Where did the 2011 Dallas Mavericks rank in your all-time championship runs? Let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, I ask that you like it so that other NBA fans will be able to see my video as well. And of course, subscribe. If you enjoy the content, stick around for more and you won't regret it. The playoffs start tomorrow, so expect only bangers. Follow me on all my social media accounts. But until next time, stay on beat.